Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm so grateful to be here with you. And tonight, I wanted to say a prayer for our leaders and also with the recognition that we are each a leader, and we're each leaders in our own homes and in our own environments and in our own interiority, in our own interior worlds. And so I wanted to begin tonight with just sending a gratitude and asking for a blessing for our leaders, that they may do truly what is for the good of all. And may there be a blessing for them and from them, from us to them. May there be good things for them and for us and for all who live here on the sweet face of Mother Earth and Mother Nature. Please guide our leaders to truly create a win-win for all. Thank you. Aho. Amen. And so I was thinking about why be grateful. I think that was something that I mentioned is, how come? Why should we be grateful right now? And I think it's an interesting question, and I think it's something that we can ask ourselves in this time and in the coming days, in the coming weeks, in the coming months. And I wanted to share a couple of things that I've noticed and that I've had an awareness about. And one of them is this poem, a poem for autumn. It's called Grace, and it's by Wendell Berry. It's called A Poem for Autumn. The woods shine this morning, red, gold, and green. The leaves lie on the ground, or fall, or hang full of light in the air still. Perfect in its rise and in its fall, it takes the place it has been coming to forever. It is not hastened here or lagged. See how surely it has sought itself, its roots passing through the earth. See how without confusion it is all that is, and how flawless its grace is. Running or walking, the way is the same. Be still, be still. Running or walking, the way is the same. Be still, be still. And this is a poem for autumn by Wendell Berry. Grace, Grace. It's a poem called Grace by Wendell Berry, and it's a poem for autumn. And so I'm thinking about autumn, and I'm thinking about, why be grateful, why be thankful, and the etymology I think is really interesting. It comes from gratitudo and the Latin gratis, pleasing, thankful. But what I really like is this one, 1828, from aware plus ness, aware dumb, or a state of being aware. A state of being aware. And I like that, like a whole entire way of being aware, where we're aware of our blessings and aware of the gifts that are in our lives. Like right now, like where we are with what we're experiencing, with whatever's happening, can we have an awareness that is more than the things that are needed? Can we also be aware of the graces, the blessings, and the gifts that we have in this time? And I'm thinking of a lot of different things that are in my life right as we speak, and that I'm so grateful for it. And I'm grateful for the shelter, and I'm grateful for I lit a fire tonight and asked to the fire spirit to keep me warm and to take care of me. And so, because everything has its own soul, everything has its own spirit. It's interesting. I have this quote from Thomas More that I really like, from Care of the Soul, from one of his books, from one of his texts called Care of the Soul. And it says, again, we can see the importance of imaginal practices such as journals, dream work, poetry, painting, and therapy aimed at exploring images of dream and life. These methods keep us actively engaged in mythologies that are full of the stuff of our own lives. The soul's not a thing, but a quality or dimension of experiencing life and ourselves. The soul's not a thing, but a quality or dimension of experiencing life and ourselves. And so our lives, but that's by Thomas More from Care of the Soul. So our lives are not one dimensional. They're not one experience. They are full of so many experiences, and not just of ourselves, but of so many other people and places and things. And so, how do I have this awareness? How do I live in that heart of awareness of what I've been given and the blessings that are actually walking with me, talking with me, and engaging with me every single day. And when I think of this, I think of how healing is nourishing. Healing is what is nurturing. Healing is something that we can be grateful for. And I think that we have a lot of healing to do. Like we have a lot of healing to do in ourselves, in our relationships, in our lives, in our country, in our world. There's so much healing to be done. And if we think about what is the healing that is needed most at this time, I think that it really is the healing work of engaging with one another in such a way that everyone receives what it is that they need, that everyone can look at one another, look at the different things that are needed emotionally, spiritually, and physically, and address those things from a place where everyone receives what it is that they need. And I think that would also require of us that we start to be aware and start to share our own needs and our own feelings about things. And so, what are my needs and what are my feelings about things? And what is it that most nourishes me? What is it that most nourishes you? What is nourishing for you? How can we be sources of nurturance and nourishment for one another? Well, one of the ways that we can do that, why be grateful, is because gratitude is one of the ways that we can nourish one another. Gratitude is one of the ways that we can nourish ourselves, each other, the earth. It's one of the things that can open us, that can soften us, that can bring us what it is that we really need, which is an openness to life and what it is that nurtures and nourishes and guides us. So I think that gratitude can also be kind of a type of guidance system where we are guided. We can be guided by our own gratitude. Like gratitude can be a guidance system, which I just think is so amazing and so beautiful. Not to, be inspired by something right now, but really, what can we be inspired by? What is it that inspires me? What is it that gives me that feeling of, as they were saying, of awareness of the gifts and the blessings I've been given. And so one of the things, a really old way of giving gratitude is to say something before meals called grace. And there's this really beautiful grace. It's a Buddhist meal prayer, so to speak. And we can say it before we're receiving our food. Like if I am fed, if I've eaten today, I can be really grateful for that. I can be grateful for the food. And it also gives me a sense of gratitude, and that gratitude gives me a sense of engagement with the being that is feeding me and nurturing me. So that's like mealtime. That's like, what am I eating? What am I putting into my body? So how can I be grateful for that food that is nourishing me? And also that we can nourish others, that we can nourish this world in a way that extends gratitude into the world. So with this, I really like the different types of grace that I've seen, or ways to say thank you before we begin a meal. And I think that we could also even begin this practice before we begin a day. It's something we could do before we begin a day, to say almost like a grace, to thank the world for the grace, and to thank the world for our very lives, to thank the world for the blessings that we have. Because most of our life is made of blessings. Like, yes, there's a lot of other things that are going on in the world, but the truth is that most of our life is made of blessings. So can I be engaged? Can I allow myself to be engaged with the blessings that are happening in my life? Can I be a blessing in return? And so it's up for me to kind of decide what that means to me, and how I can do that and be that. But this is one of the ways is that we can actually say a blessing. We can make more love in the world. We can create more love in the world by what we're saying, by what we're doing, and by how we're behaving and acting. And not only just how we're behaving and acting, because that also needs to be authentic and real in the moment, but in those behaviors and actions, am I doing something that extends my gratitude to actually what is working? And so I really like this prayer. It's a very short, like Buddhist meal prayer, but it says, we receive this food in gratitude to all beings who have helped to bring it to our table, and vow to respond in turn to those in need with wisdom and compassion. We receive this food in gratitude to all beings, like to everyone, and everything that brought this food to our table. We give thanks and gratitude. We extend our thanks and our gratitude to this nourishment, to this nurturance that we're receiving. And to all the beings who have helped to bring it to our table, we extend our thanks. We extend our gratitude for everyone who has brought it to our table. And then we vow to respond in turn to those in need with wisdom and compassion. And so, can I say this before all my experiences, like before I have a meal, before I have an experience, before I have a conversation? Can I be authentic, real, and honest? And can I say what it is that I need to say with gratitude and with compassion for every experience in my life and every experience that I'm faced with throughout the day? Can I extend my gratitude to life and give back to life that gratitude, that feeling of appreciation? And so I think about this in this time. How can we be in a prayer of gratitude? And how can we recognize that everything is for us? Things are not happening to us. Everything that happens in our lives is happening for us. And so how can I experience that awareness instead? And so I thank you for being with me. And I thank you that we get to be in this awareness. And I thank life and the mystery for all that we have to be grateful for. And so I would be thinking about, what is it that nourishes me? What am I most grateful for? And how can I extend my gratitude and my thanks to what is happening for me and not to me? What nourishes me? And then I really appreciated this last line of Grace by Wendell Berry. And it says, running or walking, the way is the same. Be still, be still, be still. Have a beautiful week, and I will talk with you next Wednesday.